So we'll start off today with a demonstration of some genealogy software, which was something that people wanted to see in the last meeting. And I'll do RootsMagic. I'll spend about a half hour with that, and we'll have maybe 10 minutes for questions. And I recommend that you just, if you want, just put, if a question comes to you while I'm talking, just put it in the chat section, and we can review it from there. Or you can wait until afterwards, and you can make your ask your questions. And then Wayne will talk about Reunion software, which is a Mac-only based genealogy software. And then we'll spend some time just open discussion with genealogical questions you might have, your research interest, or some challenges you're having finding information on your ancestors. And then I'll run a little poll, which will be asking what is perhaps a good time for the next meeting, and some topics that we might like to discuss. So we'll continue there. Okay. All right, I'll get started here. I'm going to do another share here, and you must let me know if you see it. You guys can see that?
Yep.
Okay. I got some windows here I got to move out of the way. Okay. Okay. So this is going to be a little introduction to RootsMagic, and we'll start with some of the essential features of any type of genealogy software, which would be good to consider, because there are many programs out there, and there'll be a resource on the last slide where you can see all the various links to all the various genealogy programs. But this this particular program, RootsMagic, will be one that I'll be talking about. So here are some things that apply to any particular genealogy software you might be wanting to investigate. Data entry, names obviously are important, and they should be able to handle just very simple names, first name, surname, multi-word names, and hyphenated names. That should be part of any type of genealogy software you consider. Dates, of course, standard dates, and the way that genealogists use dates is the day first, and the month, and the year, and those can be either abbreviated or have them as full.
Can you put the screen to the left? Your pictures are covered.
I'm sorry, which screen?
Essential features. If you could just move it a bit to the left, because your pictures are covering the end of the sentences.
My pictures, okay. Now you have a way of, you might have it, I mean, is anybody else having a problem?
No, I
did.
I slid the pictures around.
I'm
I
sorry?
did have the problem, and then it corrected itself. Your photo, Jerry, is what was blocking it, and now it just went onto the top of the screen. So now it's okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, let me know if you're having problems. There is a you have view. I don't know if you see this, but you should have view options at the top of the screen, and then you can make the you can make the display either larger or smaller on your end.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So getting back to this, so the dates can be put in either by the standard date or approximated date, because many times you don't really have a date, but you know that the person wrote a will in 1809 and 1815 he was dead. So you can, say something about the before, between dates. Free-form dates, there are Quaker dates that are expressed 1776, 6 months, 4th day, which the program should understand, or Rennial dates. These are older style dates, the 4th of May and the 3rd year of His Majesty George III. So there are genealogy programs that should understand these dates when you put them in. Places, it needs really to understand how places are entered. And many of the programs will standardize the places, tell you where the county is in the state. And and then they should know how, when towns aren't recognized, that you can actually use your own place name instead of what's there. And then of course sources, the most important thing, and one of the most important things in genealogical research is to record your sources. And all the programs should have a way of citing sources by standards such as Evidence Explained, which is the gold standard of genealogical source reporting. And if people have never seen that book, it's like a 600-page book of how to cite various genealogical sources. The next thing is merging duplicates. As your database grows, you'll have duplicates, and you'll want to know if you can merge the duplicates or not. You might have same name, same last name, but different dates that perhaps should not be merged. But sometimes you'll need to merge duplicates that you've mistakenly put in the database. So there should be a way of doing that. Basic reports is important. Obviously, you want to get this output in some way. So there are charts, pedigree charts, family group sheets, multi-generational charts, and these are roadmaps to your ancestry. And many programs use color boxes and photos to make the reports and charts more fancy or easier to read. And then there are these reports, which are narrative listing reports of descendants or ancestors, and many of them resemble the journal formats. If you're familiar with the New England Historic and Genealogical Society register, that's a particular report format, and it will put it into that, or the NGS, which is the National Genealogical Society Quarterly. And that will also use their reporting format. So those are features you should look for. The reliability checks, as you're typing along, there should be some spell checking and date authentication going on. You don't want to have your ancestor getting married after the person has died. And you'll find that as date authentication telling you, oh, wait a second, you think you have a problem here. And then, of course, technical support, online manuals, blogs, bulletin boards, email support, and phone support. RootsMagic has all of these features, as does, I'm sure, Reunion. So there won't be any problem with that. All right, just very quickly, I don't want to spend too much time on this. This fellow, Bruce Busby, was an electrical engineer, computer nerd, and he designed a spreadsheet over 30 years ago called CubeCalc. And you probably saw that wasn't going anywhere with Microsoft Excel. So he branched off into genealogy programming and made something called Ancestral Links, which later a company purchased the license and renamed it Family Origins. And that ran under DOS. So you can imagine, I'm sure, the difficulty of working with that program. And then a little bit later, he designed the program, adapted it for Windows. And Windows was the software of choice for him, not Mac. And the name of his program became RootsMate. And then it became RootsMagic and shipped in 2003. And then in 2014, RootsMagic was able to run on a Mac with something called Mac Bridge. And you'll see this kind of funny dichotomy when we do the demonstration. You'll see it as a Mac, but you'll get really feeling, if you know Windows programming, you'll see that this is really made for Windows. And which is very nice now is that the company has finally developed a native Mac version, and it's available with Mac OS Catalina 10.15. I have not upgraded my machine to that, but I plan to very soon. So I'll be able to appreciate the
I win. Oh,
somebody-
sorry, I'm just helping my mom.
Oh, okay. You might want to mute yourself. It's just in case there's no background. In fact, everybody would be good to mute yourselves until you want to ask a question. That way, if the phone rings or something, people won't hear it. So at any rate, here's the features that we're going to look at. It runs under Windows versions and Mac OS. It backs up to Dropbox, Google Drive, and iCloud, so you always have a backup. There are database tools to clean your database and compress to remove deleted records. There are many navigation views: Pedigree, Family View, Descendant View, and People List View. It runs off a flash drive, so you can actually take it with you to the library and use one of their laptops and upload it there and see your database. It has auto check for duplicates as you add people, which is good. And you can open multiple databases and you can drag and drop between those. And I'll show you how that works with the demonstration. Web tags add links to websites attached to people, sources, or places. It has a searching feature where you can easily find.
Red record button's on.
I'm sorry?
Oh.
Yeah, Rhonda, if you can mute yourself unless you have a question, thank you. And printing, you can customize headers, save reports in a PDF or RTF format. If people are familiar with RTF, that's a way for other word processing programs to read your report. And you can email reports directly from the print preview. Color code, pedigree charts include images and narrative reports, and many more other features. And you can publish family history and photos online for free on their online service. I have not tried this. We might, if we have time, we'll take a look at it, but actually Wayne will talk more about how he used Reunion to publish his book on his family. Free tech support. And these are some resources that I can share with you later, but these are basically the RootsMagic website, the RootsMagic 12-page PDF guide, which is, I highly recommend if you do download RootsMagic Essentials, which is a free program that allows you to start with RootsMagic, and it's pretty much fully functional. There are certain items that are not, certain features that are not implemented, but it's pretty much a workable database. So you would be able to just print that out and it gets you started. And then there are a bunch of really nice YouTubes, Getting Started with RootsMagic and RootsMagic 5 Things I Love from the Family History Fanatics. These are really good family history sources. Okay. How was that? Kind of quick. Things will become, hopefully will come a little bit more understandable. So let's actually go to the program and take a look at it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just do a blank sheet of a new database, so you can just see the basics of entering. And then I'll open up a full-fledged database so you can see everybody that I have in it. So I'm going to do another screen share. Everybody see that that screen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So this is the screen that people will see when you first open up RootsMagic, and it defaults to the pedigree view. But you can see, if you can see my my finder here, my little arrow, you can see there are various ways of looking at it. Family, descendants, people, the web search, and the timeline. And you'll see there are two menus here. This top menu, just RootsMagic. I find this menu completely unusable. And this is the Mac part of the program. And then below it, you see all of these menu types. And you can see, can you see that drop-down menu, folks?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see this is where all the work takes place, is in here. So I'm not even sure, maybe they just need to have this when they're running it under Mac. But you can see this is, it looks like a Windows program if you're familiar with Windows. So it does have an embedded help feature, and you can use this when you're just getting started, or if you have a question about something and you want to just look it up very quickly. It's a help menu, and you know, it gives you some advice. All of these are linked, and I won't spend too much time, but you can see that it can be very helpful if you want to look up something under these various headings. All right, so let's add a person. And I'm just going to add my family here. So everything, are people seeing this pop-up menu here?
No.
You're not seeing add a new person?
Yes.
I can see where you could click add a new person. Click to add a
Okay,
new-
okay, you can see that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm adding a person. This is the basic format. I'm living the last time I checked. And then we have my birth date.
Hmm.
And where I was born. That pops up. And there we go. So I've made one entry.
We don't
Sorry?
see it.
I thought somebody did.
Jerry, it still says, it's still the basic thing where it says click to add a new person.
Oh, okay.
You could sort of see what you were typing off on the side there, but then it didn't change the box where it says click to add a new person.
Oh, that's too bad. I wonder if I have to do a new share. How about now?
No,
Can't see it, huh?
still can't see it.
Okay, well, that's not very good for the demo. Let me see, is there any way to, no, I don't think so. So all you're seeing is, I'm
You
sorry,
gotta-
There it is.
It popped up now. I don't know what you did different. But,
what did you see?
well, now we can see your name and birth date.
Okay, that's all you see though, right?
Right.
Yeah. And when I do that, you don't see anything, but you still see me.
Up
No,
at the top, though, it does have Denver and, you know, where you were born.
Yeah, yeah, but you don't see the edit person frame.
No,
Oh, that's really
we're
too
we're
bad.
looking at the pedigree chart. And
Yeah,
little window at the top, as they said, the information you typed in is there. And then down in the chart, it's just your name and birthday.
okay. Well, then this is not going to work. I should have made screen prints. Oh well, a lesson for next time. That's really weird. I wonder why that doesn't work. There's some setting here. Let me just see if there's a setting. Yeah, because these are like pop-ups that come up when you do that. And let me see. If I stop the share, let me do it again.
Oh, now we see it.
Do you see the pop-up window with add a fact, delete a fact?
Right.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Now
All
it's
right,
on
that's
there.
going to be cumbersome. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to stop the share and share again. All right.
Mm.
Okay. Well, at any rate, this is what you get when you want to work on the person. So you can add facts.
Okay.
So I've already added my birth date, but I can add other facts. And here's a list of all the facts that are already programmed into the database. So you have divorce, education, immigration, that's communication, all the LDS things, marriage. So you can see you can add lots of different facts, which are really cool because when you look at the timeline, you can see the person's timeline. Very. So at any rate, let me just try something real quick. I won't spend too much time. So, do you see select spouse to add this fact to?
Can't see a drop down on the add a fact.
Okay, but you don't see a select spouse?
No.
Okay. So that's one of the issues here. So if I stop the share and share the screen,
Mhm.
and let's see, where am I here maybe? Now do you see it?
Now we can see it.
Okay, so this is how you add the spouse. And I don't know if you're seeing this, but it says add a spouse to Jerry Carboni. I can select an existing person, but since it's a new database, I add a new person. And then I can add my wife. And it's done just the same way as before. You put her birth date, and place, and then you click OK, and it closed the window. Interesting. Let's see.
Share again.
Okay. Now do you see the date there?
Mm-mm.
You don't. Do you see anything?
No.
You're back on the pedigree chart now.
And you don't see that pop up, huh?
No.
Okay. How about now?
There we can see it.
Okay. All right. So I added my wife, and now I can put the date of our marriage because I added the marriage.
Good.
And then the place.
Mm-hmm.
And then these are, this is where you can add the details. And if I want to marry, I'm sure you're not going to see this, but I can make a note about the marriage. I can put a source, and I do this for everything. And you probably can't see add a new source or anything like that, I'm sure. And this is where you add your sources.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Do you see that?
yeah.
You see the source type, face freeform ancestral file?
Did you
We
click
see-
on sources?
Here, let
No,
me.
we're not
Hmm.
not seeing the that screen, Jerry.
Okay.
There.
Now we can see it.
Okay. All right. So you can come down here. You can find a source.
Ah,
These are all the sources that's already embedded, and it gives you a template. So here are the marriage records. You can enter a certificate, a record, bound volume, a church copy, a church original, or a civil record. So that's what I would choose. And then I say, okay. And then I would, and you probably can't see this, but I'll do this again.
oh, that's really cool.
Yeah. I can, all right, I can see where that's, okay, let's stop the share, start the screen again. And that's where you can enter everything. And as you
Oh, okay.
enter over here, it formats it for you.
Ah,
And then with the format, you will have then something that will come out in your reports, a footnote, and the documentation.
oh,
And you
that's
can,
great.
you can. So if you want to transcribe that record, you can transcribe it here under research detailed text. I don't know if you can see that.
Uh-huh.
You can add media, so you can actually add the document you want.
Mhm.
And, you know, various things. So, all right. I had a few more things to show you, but I don't think it's going to really work that well. Let me just show you a full-fledged one, and then we'll go on. All right, so I'm going to close. All right, and open this. Let's open this one.
Are you on a Mac? Is that what you're
Yes.
on?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Bear with me while I share the screen again. Okay. Do you see the screen, I hope?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Do you see two frames?
Yes.
Okay. So this is a database of my family here, mainly my paternal family. And this is the one we were working on, if you can see that.
Oh, okay.
All right. So let's say I want to add my father to this database here. I can take my father here, and I can drag it over here. Loop. And you can see I can add just Rocco, or I can add ancestors. I can add descendants. I can add everyone in the database if I wanted. Let's just say I want to just add my father.
Jerry,
Yes.
it's Margot. If you don't mind, since there aren't too many of us, can we unmute? And therefore, it's hard for me to switch screens because I'm on my phone. But I do have a question. Why would you want to start another one with your father?
I was just
What do you-
showing the examples of how to, move one tile over to another. I've never really used it, but I thought it was kind of a neat.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not like you would want to start a different tree for some reason?
No, maybe you want to have another tree that you want to experiment with, like a,
Okay. Thank you.
yeah. So that would be the only reason.
Okay.
Anyway, I just thought that was kind of a neat feature, and
It is. It
Yeah.
is. I just wanted to understand its possible usage.
okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's just look at one of these now. Are you guys seeing this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So at any rate, these are what happens when you're able to enter all of the, all of the information that you have. The little light bulb means is our hint. And I know this is not going to show because it's going to be, it's going to open up another screen, but this will tell you that there's a web hint for Rocco Carboni, and when I click on that, I get a link to MyHeritage. MyHeritage is a database like Ancestry or Family Search, and it says there are 4 hints there, so I can go look at those hints that somebody else has put up in a tree and see if they relate to my father. Okay, and then I can copy them over to this database. The other thing is. You're looking at the pedigree chart. If I want to look at the family chart, all I do is click on that. Did that change for you?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So now you see my mother here with her birth and death dates, my father, birth, death. And then you actually see my father's parents, my grandparents, and my mother's parents. And then you see the descendant, you see my siblings, myself and my siblings. And then with the descendancy, you see it this way, going down. And then people will give you the full database of everybody who is in the database.
Wow.
And this way you can switch. So you can see what I mean when I was talking about people with the same first and last names. You got a lot of Domenicos here. But I'm going to choose this guy right here. He's my great uncle, and I actually met him. So the rest of them were long dead before I. And so here is I bet you can't see this, can you? Here, let me stop the share, start the share again. Because I wanted you to see all of these things that you can enter. So here is, you can see this, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see my great uncle and his first wife, this woman here, and then his second wife, this person here, and then I have two parents listed for him, and I'm not even sure I should be doing it this way, because his mother, or my great grandmother, last name was spelled in two different ways, and I put it that way, but I'm thinking that could have been done in another way. I'm going to have to fix that somehow. So, at any rate, you can see his birth, and then their birth sources over here, which I'm not going to show you. Well, yeah, I don't think I will. You probably don't see the note that I just launched, do you?
No.
Okay. Okay, so at any rate, but what the note says, says this date on the death certificate, this is the date on the death certificate, while the 14th of June, 1878 on the death certificate is the gravestone and on his birth record. There's a difference. His tombstone does not has a different date of death, which is interesting.
Yeah, we could see that.
And then you have his immigration, his marriage to the first one, and then these two news items are ones that I had created myself, and so those are facts. When I did add a fact, I created them. These are two news items. He appeared in the newspaper. He was arrested, being implicated in a knife fight in Carneyville, which was a rugged coal camp in Sheridan, Wyoming, outside Sheridan. And then here's a court document that I found with him. And I think I might be able to show you that. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to have to do another stop share so you can see this, I think. And this will help, I think. Do you guys see this new one? This new share?
Yes.
Okay. So these are documents that I've uploaded to the database. The one on the left is his birth record. The one on the right are the charges that were leveled against him. And I don't know if you can.
Yeah.
You can see that's a thumbnail, but and then this one is an account of the knife fight that appeared in the Sheridan newspaper, Sheridan, Wyoming newspaper. So I know that Richard Fenton had questions about uploading media, and RootsMagic allows you to do this. You can also put in sound files and video files. So if you had an oral history, you could attach it to this man. And just finally, the divorce record, the marriage again, his death, and his burial. So it tells you where he's buried.
That's great.
Okay. I think I'm going to stop there just because we need time for questions and Wayne's presentation. I have not looked at the chat box. Let's see. I don't believe, okay, is there a limit of people in the RootsMagic Essentials? There used to be a limit, but I've found that I don't think there's a limit anymore. When I went to the features page, it did not state that there was any limit. Other things, there are other features that you can't access, but I think you can grow that as large as you want, but it might bear researching a little bit more. RootsMagic Essentials is a free download, so it's really great to get started. You can start with everything I just showed you. You can start it with that. And yes, you can save digital audio files. And I guess those were the only two. Okay, here's I think some other questions of genealogical interest, which we can address in the questions and so forth. So, okay, that's, I think, all I have. And
Jerry, I have a general question and not RootsMagic specific.
Sure.
Should I wait on that?
Go ahead, shoot.
Okay, my daughter's been doing a lot of research and she found my mother's birth certificate, which has her lineage with a different last name than any of us have ever known for that woman. So what do you do? Where do you go from there? Two different last names and not just a spelling change. One is Sklar and one is Nuremberg.
Okay. Well,
And it's a birth certificate from 1,000,000 years ago. So
so this is one of the issues in the genealogical proof standard, which we went over a little bit the first time. But you need to do what is called reasonably exhaustive search.
okay.
Okay, which is, you need to do some more research, get some more documents, so you can resolve the conflict, because what you have is a conflict. You have
Yes.
conflicting information. And,
Yeah.
And so maybe we can discuss it a little bit in the general session about what you might do
Good. Thanks.
to figure that out.
Thank you.
Okay, Wayne, why don't you take it over? You're muted there. Okay, you're unmuted. Okay.
Did you set it up so I can share my screen? Okay. So the what I want to do is take off of what Jerry was just saying and just show you what I've been doing to try to use that information to produce a book. So this is what this is a family group page on Reunion, and so the first thing in creating the book is to find a starting point. For years, I just entered information into this. I never really gave much thought about doing anything with it. And just I wanted a place to kind of organize stuff. Well, the last few years, I've been thinking about, okay, so what am I going to do with all this stuff? So inside of Reunion, there is a series of reports. And Jerry, can you tell me, can you see this page where it lists reports?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have all of these, there are various kinds of reports that you can get out, just as Jerry was showing you with RootsMagic. So what I'm focusing on here is on the book. So this is part of the setup. In other words, once you've done all the research, and frankly, I've been going back through trying to verify some of the dates and so forth. And just to show you here, there are places where you can leave notes. And I wish I'd done this differently to start with, but I didn't. So there's various different kinds of notes. You can see down here, it's a research note. I don't have anything in there yet on Samuel, and I do have a ton of information. I'm just trying to figure out how to organize it about him to try to make some kind of a narrative that will appear in the book. And the other thing is, you'll notice on this page there are I've only got one source there. Fortunately, Samuel kept a journal, a few dates and people, like when his children were born, when he moved, and that kind of thing. So there is actually a journal from, that he started and other family members continued. So that really was kind of my main source. I was able to verify that with birth records in England, but I don't have that in there yet. So you can add other sources. You can have more than one source added to a date, for example, or a place. So I'm in the process of continuing to do that. But once you've done all that research, you can, again, to go back to the report thing here, then you do a setup for the book. So I'm using a register format. This is from the, it was developed by the New England Historic and Genealogical Society in Boston. And it's a way of doing basically descendants of this, you know, whoever your starting point is. There are all these other reports as well. But like I said, for my purposes, I'm working on I was trying to find 5 generations of descendants of Samuel Blanchard, and he has had 2 wives. So there were like, he had 10 children. So finding each of those generations. So it doesn't look like a whole lot here, but you need to choose your layout, and you can define the layout. Jerry, did that pop up? Did you see that?
Mhm.
Okay. So you choose the items that you want to appear in there. And like I said, in this case, I'm just picking, I'm not necessarily using everything available. And you can add other notes. I mean, you can define other items to put in there as well. But for my purposes, these few worked out all right. So you define it. You choose what you want to have appear in the book. I want the sources to show up. I included these surname pages and the place index. You can put in preferred picture, and you can include media pages if you've had other, if you've included other media in there. In this case, it's so far back in time, you know, there are no pictures of these people. So, but if you had something in there and you wanted to include it, you would just check off those boxes as well. And then you just click create a book. So once you've clicked that button, and I guess I'll probably have to stop the share and show you what the window looks like for the project window. Project window. Whoops. Huh. Wait a minute. I just got to find the window. All right, I think it's coming up. No. I don't know why my window didn't come up. Share that.
Let me go back to share. There you go.
Oh. All right, but I didn't get the right window. Share. There we go. All right, so this is the, once you've created once you've done that setup, you click create the book. It gives you a bunch of other choices within here. So you can add, so just to show you the pages that I checked off there, that you can put in a table of contents. The register report itself is here, which is the bulk of the information. It's, first, second, third generations, it's all in order. The sources pop in. The interesting, I mean, what it does when it creates the book, it renumbers the sources. For example, Samuel up here, forgot if I can go back to him. Whoops. The source for Samuel was like number 408, but in here it's going to be numbered according to how they appear in the book. So he is now number, that source is now number 1, and so on. So it goes in order, starting with the person that you choose, whoever starts this whole report. So the sources I'll list there. I chose to have a place index, so all the places that are in there and the people who are in those places appear. And then it automatically generates a person index. Of course, the only difficulty with that is, you know, people with the same name appear in the index, and it's, you know, so a person looking through it would have to, you know, you'd have to check both. You know, for example, I have a lot of Samuel Blanchards in here, or a lot of, you know, when you go down to the Blanchard thing, there's multiple people with the same name. But anyway, at least it generates its own index, so you don't have to go through page by page and figure out who's on that page. Now, the other thing you can do is you can add others. You can't add anything else to the you know, to the information you've created off the report. You have to go back to the original file if you change something, and then you can easily just regenerate. You know, it'll update this, but you have to go back to the main file to do that, make those changes. You can't edit it in this window. And you really can't add a whole lot to it. You know, if you got a bunch of blank space on a page, you can add, you could add a picture, you could add a text, but there are objects on those pages. So they will overwrite, you know, if you don't have a blank spot on the page, you can't add anything to it. However, you can add other sections. So for example, in here, I added a bibliography, just typed it up in a word processor, saved it, and then put it into the book. And when I add that section into the book, it automatically changes the page numbering in my book. So everything else stays the same. Let's see, the books, you do have control over what appears in the, how the book is formatted. You know, so for example, here you need to set up, in this case, I've got basically a 6x9 book, set up the page number, you know, the margins and that type of thing. You can just determine how the section titles appear, the header and so forth, footer, page numbers, the title, and you can determine, you know, what colors you want the names to appear in. So I don't want to change anything there. But anyway, so you see, you don't need to, once you've created the book, you do need to tell it, you know, how you want things here. Within each section, you can determine how many columns there are. So for example, in this sources, I've got 2 columns. In the person index, I've created 3 columns. So you have some control over that. You can add, and like I said, you can add other sections. You could, I haven't done it yet, but you could put in an introduction. I could add charts, some things that I'll probably do as I go on. I'm still really in the process of figuring out how everything goes together, how I want it to appear. So then once you've, assuming you're done, you know, well, in my case, what I do periodically is I want it to print it out because I want to save it basically. So I literally send it off and get it printed because it's cheaper for me to do that than it is to print it out on my home printer. And then when all is, you know, when you're ready to finally do something, you click this button here, create and open a PDF book. And I'll just show you that quickly. And just do my sharing again. And then, so here's it doesn't look a whole lot different on your screen probably, but it's just, it creates a PDF file. The thing I was kind of pleased about this was when it created this file, there are each of these, again, this shows you the color, the color scheme, the men are in blue, the women are in red. There are links here though. You can click within the PDF document, you can click and move to different, to whatever you've just clicked on, which means you can go to the, like you can go to the index, choose a person and jump to the page that person is on. So anyway, I found that in terms of just sharing it with other relatives, basically, that the PDF file is, it's just a quick way to could share all the information that you have. Just a quick note though about, I use, there are several services now online where to get a book printed. I've been using one called lulu.com. I mean, it's amazingly inexpensive to do this. I mean, I'm up to almost 300 pages in this book, and it probably cost me like $8 to get it printed out. As my, if I can hold it up, the latest thing, and really that's just my draft, but I get nervous that if everything's going to crash and I'm going to lose everything I put together, so I print it out just to save it. And it also helps me, for whatever reason, I guess I'm just used to looking at books. It helps me to spot errors, frankly. Where I realize things don't come out quite the way I thought I was going to make them come out. So anyway, that's kind of a quick look at how to take something that you've put together and then get something out of it, something you can share with other people.
How much did that cost, Wayne, to produce it?
To have this printed out, well, when you create the book, they want you to buy a proof copy, they call it. So I mean, it's really cheap. It's about $4 per 100 pages. But I get it. A lot of times they have a sale, so I get it even cheaper just to get a printout. You can't. I mean, once you're finally, if you decide. You can keep it private. You can just, like right now, I don't have this book for sale because I'm still working on it. But you can choose to have it for sale on their site, or they have a way to set it up so that it could be on Amazon or, some of the big book. Well, Amazon's a big one, obviously, but it goes out to other book sellers.
Have you thought about depositing a copy with the Family Search library?
Well, I haven't thought about Family Search. I have, well, until we were pretty much shut down with the virus thing here. I did a similar, well, a book, what I call a book of all my cousins. And I was, in the past, I've donated that to the various libraries that like genealogy books. I hadn't thought about Family Search itself, but
maybe you can just give them a digital copy they could have, and then they'll get indexed. And
oh, really? They'll do it?
Pretty sure, yeah.
I didn't realize they would do digital, but hardbound copies or paperback copies. You can do either. I have given to. Well, like the New Hampshire State Library, for example, or the New England Historical Genealogical Society Library, various libraries that want genealogists.
Public Library in Allen County, Indiana. That's a big.
Yeah, that's another big one. Yeah.
Big genealogy library there.
So just to have it
Yeah,
available.
that's great.
A question. Can you keep a PDF of the book on your home computer?
Right, yes, yeah.
Thank you.
I have it, I mean, that's what I was just showing you is the PDF on my computer. And like I said, I have a few other relatives that will accept historic genealogical information. Most don't care about it, but for the ones that do, I can just send them an email with that as an attachment. Other questions?
Mary, let's see. Unmute. Oh, there you go, Mary.
10, 15, 20 years from now, will this software be accessible? Will it be migratable? What do people think about that?
Well, that's certainly a challenge because this Reunion is in its 12th version right now. And it looks like RootsMagic goes back even further. So in order for it to run on future computers, people need to, you constantly need to upgrade in order for it to work on your computer.
There's a
That is a problem.
yeah. There's a basic standard called GEDCOM, which is the way that the information gets translated between programs. And so that's kind of a standard that, you can probably port your information out in a GEDCOM file, and then that should be able to be read by any program that's out there.
But this is, my only thought would be at least one paper copy would
Agreed.
be advisable.
Yeah. I mean, I still print out, things and use file folders. Obviously, it's a tool, right? These things are tools that make life easier. But yeah, you're right about that.
I mean, all this work, and to think 2 generations from now be wonderful for somebody to have, but they won't necessarily be able to access.
Yeah, just think if you
In
had
the
something on a floppy disk, right?
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
even the CD-ROM. My computer doesn't even have a bay to
Right.
read from a CD or DVD. I have to buy an external drive for that. So
And could I just ask one more question?
sure.
And Wayne, how much do these software products cost?
Oh, that's a good question.
Well, I can answer RootsMagic. They're all pretty reasonable. RootsMagic, the full version you can get for $29.95. And as I said, RootsMagic Essentials, you can start off with that. And then if you decide you need to go to RootsMagic, it'll just, all the data will just transfer. You just basically get a license and you can put the license and then it opens up the program.
And all of their updates are automatically sent to you?
Yes, once you have licensed, yeah.
And the
Reunion
licenses-
is a little more expensive. Just guessing, I would say somewhere like $80 to $90. Some of their maintenance updates are free, but when they switch to a new version, you get it's a reduced cost to upgrade, but it's still a fee to upgrade.
Yeah, I think that's probably the same way. I'll maybe have to retract what I said. New versions, I'll have to pay a little bit. I can't remember what I did when I upgraded to version 7 of RootsMagic.
And does anybody remember how much Ancestry is?
Ancestry, it depends on what level you want to subscribe at. I'm at a World Explorer level, and I think it's like $189 every 6 months.
Yeah, the US version is like $99 for 6 months.
On sale at $59.95 right now.
Really, you got a deal. But remember, both Brooks and Rockingham, once they open again, you can use their subscriptions.
Right.
You're not going to be able to do any messaging or any of your family tree work because you just go under their licensing. So you can't. I don't think you can. Can you log in, Wayne? Do you know? Can you log in with your own?
What's
Yeah.
what now?
Yes, you can log in from Brooks
Yeah.
directly.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, Rockingham set it up so that you contact them and they'll let you use. Actually, it's a good deal because you can use the world. You know, the library version is really the world version.
And you can do that right now from home, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, Brooks doesn't. Brooks
I mean,
hasn't done that yet.
I'm sure it's temporary because
If
they're.
you guys want, yeah, if you guys want Brooks to do it, call him up. Because, you know, if people are asking, they'll go ahead. But if nobody asks, you know, of course you have to be a card. You have to have a card with them. But
Yeah, same with Rockingham. You need a library card.
and
You need to
Brooks,
contact them. They'll let you know.
and Brooks has the affiliate library status with Family Search. So if you're familiar with Family Search, you might be searching along. You'll come to a collection. And when you try to look at the image, it says you can't look at them because you need to be at a Family Search library. Well, Brooks now is an affiliate. So if you take your laptop to Brooks and search for that, you'll be able to see those images. You don't have to drive to Chicopee or Bennington to get to a Family Search library. And I thought Rockingham was trying to do the same thing. Were they able to?
I haven't heard. They were going to look into it because I sent them the information you sent me. So I haven't heard.
Things probably stopped during the
Pandemic.
pandemic.
You know, one of the things we didn't talk about was the Reunion is not connected to Ancestry or other, you know, any of the other big databases. Whereas RootsMagic, Jerry, you were showing that hint, and so you could connect directly into Family Search, right? From within the RootsMagic.
If I had time, I would have. Of course, it's so difficult because I'd have to do new shares every time with the screen. But once you hit that hint, it'll log you into your Ancestry or Family Search, or MyHeritage is the other database, and it will find the information, and then you can compare it side by side. And if you want to, if it has more or better information, you can copy that over to your database and save it.
And the person who was going to talk about Family Tree Maker wasn't able to be here today, but
That's another program.
that's another program that can sync with an Ancestry family tree.
I can just show you really
and with
quick.
Family Search as well.
Yeah. I can show you really quick what it looks like, just without, here, let me.
You would need to have a
While Jerry's doing that, can I?
go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say that you need to have an account, a personal account with Ancestry and Family Tree in order to access it from your RootsMagic.
Yes, you have to have,
So-
you have to log in. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, good point. So this is what, if you can see it, this is what a Family Tree Maker looks like. And it,
I like it.
yeah, it has kind of a nice interface. To be honest with you, I use both, and I kind of use this one more.
Mm-hmm.
It has real nice, you know, icons. I think it's more. I think the new RootsMagic Mac version might start approaching this, but you know, it does have you know, different. So you can see the pedigree, and then you can see actually you know, some of the other data right here, and then the right panel here, you see the you know, birth and all that information. So it puts everything in front of you nicely, and it really has some nice reports, and it has nice color. I don't know if you can see that, but
Yeah.
color coding. You can code
Now,
and
Jerry, being new to this, If you started with RootsMagic, why would you then need Ancestry.com to start?
You wouldn't?
It wouldn't.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I mean, they're two different things. RootsMagic
Okay.
is a software program that tracks your research and
Oh, so you put in the research.
where you do the research.
And
I
Family
see.
Tree Maker is the same way.
Yes.
It's just a program that you can put your information in to
Yeah.
help you organize it and everything.
Exactly.
And
Okay.
one thing that I have found out is that a lot of the researchers and the genealogists are going to RootsMagic.
Huh.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I listened to several genealogy podcasts, which I actually recommend to everyone because they're really good. And
Mm-hmm.
one of them is the Genealogy guys. Do you know them, Dorothy?
Yes. Uh-huh.
They're these two guys from Florida, and they do a podcast once every couple of weeks, I think.
Uh-huh.
And they're of course they get that's their sponsor is RootsMagic, but
Sure.
they stand by it. They like it. I mean, it's a powerful program. I have not plumbed
It
the
is. Uh-huh.
depth of it.
And I started out in Family Tree Maker,
Yes.
which a lot of people did because it was the one that came out years ago. And when I changed over to RootsMagic, it's a little different, but it's so much cheaper than the Family Tree Maker. And so it's really RootsMagic is becoming more the standard genealogy program to use because it's inexpensive.
It's expensive, and now they have the Mac version, which
Right.
I'm looking forward to.
Now they're fixing to go to a new version though, aren't they? I mean, they've been advertising it for about a year.
Yeah, RootsMagic.
And if you purchase the 7, which is the current version that's out, you will automatically get a code that you can upgrade to 8 when it does come out.
That one will be free, I'm pretty sure.
Yes. Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty familiar with Legacy?
I've worked just a little bit in Legacy. It's a very good program too. I'm actually president of our genealogy society here in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Right. Oklahoma. How'd you find out about it?
Well, I joined virtual genealogy conferences, where they have a listing of different things, but also Google alerted to me that you were going to have a webinar.
Oh,
So
cool.
that's the reason I joined in.
Well, welcome.
So you're nationwide. You didn't know that. So, but anyway, Legacy is a very, very good program. And it's very similar. It's just that I've chosen to stay with RootsMagic because I understand a lot of the seminar speakers like Mark Lowe and Tom McEntee, that they're going to use RootsMagic, and they're really staying with that version rather than others. So it's just personal preference, but I like to kind of keep up with the different styles and things. And so I don't want to, they used to have Brothers Keeper, which I never used. And I have one member in my society that still uses Brothers Keeper, and he just can't bring himself to change. But I really I like to keep up with the different ones. So
If I might, let me share my screen again, and I will show you Cindy's list, which is hitting on everybody's bookmark. But here is software and computers, and these are under the category. These are all of the software that's available. As you can, pretty amazing here.
Oh, it is. And one thing, when I went to RootsMagic from Family Tree Maker, it uses the Family Tree Maker media files. So if you've saved a lot of pictures and documents and things, then you can access them. RootsMagic does not save those themselves, but they will utilize them from Family Tree Maker.
Oh,
And so that was kind of a learning point.
yeah, definitely.
It's better than just GEDCOM because GEDCOM will not bring over media.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's
You
right.
lose your pictures and
Probably
documents.
I would guess. Texture.
Yeah. But it's good if you have a lot of information that you need to transfer. And like you mentioned earlier, you need to access maybe in the next 10 years, then GEDCOM is good, but you do have to realize that you lose your pictures and things from that version.
But you should have several backups of those anyway, right?
Absolutely.
How many people use a backup software?
I'm fixing to use
Backblaze?
Backblaze.
Yeah, I'm
I've
using-
just heard about it, and it's very reasonable, and so and I've really liked what I've seen of it. So that's what I'm fixing to do this weekend.
Yeah, I started backing up to Backblaze too.
Mhm.
So it's been a couple of months, and
Very good.
I guess I should mention Reunion wants you to keep the main file on Dropbox online.
Okay.
I also do a backup. I use the Mac's Time Machine backup to back up everything on my computer. But so I kind of feel good about the fact that some of it, I have it on the computer, but it's also being backed up online.
Right. It can
So-
be accessed. Well, that's what I like about Backblaze is you can access it from any computer. So if you went on your vacation and you needed to show them something, then you can access your files from the Dropbox or cloud or whatever,
right.
and makes it very, very convenient. I wanted to ask you a question, Wayne, on I had not been familiar with Reunion, but I did, when I downloaded RootsMagic, I downloaded the Personal Historian. Is it similar? Or do you know?
I'm not familiar with that. Personal Historian, that's
Yeah,
another
that's
piece of software.
RootsMagic product.
It's a RootsMagic product, and that's the reason I downloaded it, because I thought it helps you create stories and things. So I didn't know how far it would go in relation to Reunion.
I don't think so. I don't think it's.
Okay, that's good to know.
I think it's connected.
Well, thank you for letting me join you.
Oh, well, welcome.
It's great.
I thought when I saw that you said you were from Oklahoma, I thought maybe you had Vermont research or something.
No, actually, I've not found anybody up there yet, but I'm getting close. I in Tennessee and all those, but most of mine, I'm originally from Arkansas, and so a lot of mine come from Georgia and Alabama down there. But I'm still hoping to find someone that came over from
Yeah,
and landed in Plymouth Rock or something.
right, and then came up to Vermont. You have a very nice virtual screen behind you.
Oh, thank you.
What is that?
Well, it's a picture from a place called Pixels, and I think it's Pixel or something like that, and it's a free picture.
Oh,
And so I brought it in, and because I'm getting depressed with all this news and stuff from the coronavirus, and so I decided that I'd like to sit in the garden.
yeah, why not?
Yeah, so, but anyway.
I have a question. I'm real beginner. I've only been doing this for a couple of months.
Okay.
And I use Family Search, and I've got a lot of information, but that's all I've used so far. How easy will it be if I were to move that data, say, into RootsMagic? Is it difficult?
Do you
I'll
have?
turn that over to you, Jerry, since you're the moderator.
Sure, but go ahead. Do you have it recorded in a family search tree, a family tree on family?
Yes.
Right. Yes, you can download that tree into RootsMagic. I think everything will come over. Maybe Dorothy or Wayne know more about it, but
I've used the tree search, or in RootsMagic. I had mine on Ancestry,
Mhm.
and I've downloaded it, and it comes down very easily. I do not have a tree on Family Search. I just use the one on Ancestry. But since the program it is connected to Family Search or Ancestry, I don't think you'll have any problem. The only problem you might have is the way it stores the digital images, like pictures and documents. So I can't help you on that. But I know in Ancestry, like I said, I have a file folder on my computer that was put there by Family Tree Maker. And so that's where I access my data from, my images and things. And I make sure that they're saved in that folder.
So this is RootsMagic's and Family Search on their website. So they're very very close to them.
Yeah, they should be very compatible.
Yeah. So I don't think there's any problem.
I would agree. I think if it, I use it, I do have Family Tree Maker, which does a similar, where you can connect. And I suspect if you loaded, you would need to tell, if you download RootsMagic, and then you would need to tell it, you would have to log into your account on Family Search, but then it should sync. I would imagine. I haven't tried it on that particular software, but with Family Tree Maker, it works it's very easy. It just you can just tell it you want to sync, and it'll download everything off your account in one place and put it on your computer.
And it'll stay up on Family Search too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
know that you're not going to lose it off Family Search.
Right.
You're just downloading it to your computer and putting it into. I always consider the RootsMagic as my organization tool for the data, so that I can research and from my home computer. So that's the reason that I use the programs.
You should be able to synchronize. So as you're pulling in information and recording it on your RootsMagic on your computer, you should be able to synchronize with the tree that's on Family Search or Ancestry.
Right.
That you always have an updated copy, in both directions.
And that's the tree sync. Have you used the tree sync in RootsMagic?
No, I haven't used it that much. I know I'm just kind of wary about going out too much,
I understand. Well, Tree Search is where you can bring your tree down from Ancestry. And I'm sure that's where it uses it in Family Search too. So they would, that's the part of the program that you would go to, and it would download and make all your connections and everything so that it is synced when you work on it.
Right. I hate to put out information that's not accurate, if I'm still working.
I understand. Well, now I've used it ever since I changed over to RootsMagic, and it's a little tricky, once you get used to the program and everything. Like I say, I've just been using this program now for about 6 months.
Yeah.
But I'm learning more and more about it, which is the reason I wanted to come to your webinar here.
Just preparing for this. Of course, I didn't get to what I wanted to talk about because sharing the screen didn't work. But yeah, I learned a lot too just by having to research stuff for this little presentation. Because you use things that you're familiar with, you're comfortable with, and you don't bridge out much,
And your personal need, like I'm not really ready to write a book yet, but it's interesting to have that information.
Yeah, that you have that.
Yeah.
The one of the things I wonder about though with Family Search, anyone can go in and edit that tree.
Yes.
So I just wonder what happens with information if you've started doing it and then you download the tree.
Right.
Other people could go in and edit that tree and change the information. So
yeah, that's a good point.
That would be my only caution about just syncing them up like that. It's just you don't really know for sure.
Get alerted if your tree's being changed. Like, do you get an alert from Family Search that your tree is being edited?
I haven't seen one. No.
Yeah.
I think they just discover it when you go back to
you
it.
Discover it when you go back and you see.
Yeah, see 3 more cousins on there, and you didn't have any clue.
But I mean, they leave a trail so you know who did it. I think you can see who, and then you can send a message.
Yeah, that's one reason I have not put it on family search.
I mean, I found it useful. I've got hints, and especially if people are able to connect sources to the
Exactly.
information on the
That's the
tree.
key. If they have a
and
source
useful.
for it, then why not accept the change? But if they don't, then, buyer
Right.
beware.
Yeah, I was, for example, I'm still sorting out this in terms of working on this book. There was a fellow actually born here in Rockingham called Hiram Blanchard. And so when I looked him up on that tree in Family Search, it gave a whole history of him, basically, his wife and children and everything. But then I found two other Hiram Blanchards that were born about the same time. And, I think the one in Family Search is wrong.
Yeah.
But I don't have enough solid information to go on. I just was really hesitant to use the information that was there because I found three of them and I can't sort out which one I think is the right one that was born here in Rockingham. So.
They give you a lot of duplicates. They say they want you to look at the data from one and look at the data for another, and you can just sort of say, no, this isn't the one. This is born in the wrong place or born in the wrong time.
Yeah.
And it's kind of frustrating to have that kind of information come in when you're doing your family research. It just kind of upsets the apple cart, I think.
Right. Exactly.
But I have heard that one good way to use the trees on Family Search is to do your research tree. Like if you wanted to do just one arm of your family.
Yes.
And just put that little tree on there, and you wouldn't actually, really sync it so that it's updated each time that you work on it. But it would be kind of a temporary tree.
Right.
I'm really leery of the permanent tree up there.
Right. I think people doing DNA research use research trees a lot based on the DNA matches.
Mm-hmm.
I think Blaine Bettinger recommends doing that.
Right. He does a lot of little trees and works with that. So that might be a way that it could use. But for your permanent tree, I agree. You'd have to be very careful about syncing it, and especially if other people have access to it.
So your permanent tree should be more like with RootsMagic.
Well, it'd be in your software now, but we're talking about like syncing it with, Family Search. If you sync it to Family Search, to that tree, and there's other people that's putting things on there, you're going to download what they put on there. So you need to be careful, as you syncing it, and check your information after you've synced it and remove the parts that you do not agree with.
Okay.
So for instance, let's say somebody makes a change on Family Search, and then you get a little light bulb.
Mm-hmm.
There's a hint that there's been a match. Then you can, I think this would work. You can go out and compare and say, oh, wait a second, this is
Right.
This is or isn't the person.
Yeah, it's not I don't believe it's a on time, like if you're working in Family Search and you're making corrections or choosing what information you want, you do have a period of time. It's not syncing while you're working on it. It syncs after you finish with it.
Okay.
So you would sync your tree when you finished with it.
Right.
Gary?
Yeah.
She's muted. Yeah.
Unmute, Mary.
You're muted. There.
You're muted again.
Muted.
You're muted, Mary.
Can't hear. There you go.
There. Okay.
You're okay now. Now she's
Say
frozen.
something, Mary.
Oh, no.
Oh, she went back muted again.
It's a little bit like whack-a-mole.
Okay, I gotta
There.
leave.
Okay, go ahead. You're good. Oh,
Whoop.
I think she,
I gotta leave.
I think she was just trying to say goodbye.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, goodbye.
One of the things, just to follow up with what we were just saying about creating research trees. I just recently did a course with Blaine Benninger, and he really emphasized if you do that, well, especially if you do it on Ancestry, to keep it private and unsearchable.
Yes.
Well, basically so that you don't confuse other people. And for him, of course, it was especially important because people,
Sure.
look to him for information. So he didn't want his experiments just out there.
Yeah.
Looking like, especially when he's researching, when he's doing the research, he's trying to find out information about people he matched. So he didn't want them to accidentally find information, that he was researching them, basically.
That's
So,
true. Yeah.
That's
there's
good.
just
good
a caution there that
Now,
you can on Ancestry keep, you can set up new trees, but keep them private and unsearchable.
That's good. That's a good idea. I know I've always been warned, don't go to the big tree on Family Search because that has everybody on it. And so if you keep your tree private, then it might help cut down on some of the other people adding to it. So, just kind of have to experiment with it, but be aware that whatever's on that tree will come down to your computer unless you change it before you sync.
Right.
Good point.
So Ancestry is just bought out. I don't know if people are aware.
Yeah, it's
saw
going to be interesting.
Blackstone or something. Is that the name? It's a big conglomerate, I guess.
Well, and it seems to me that they're not.
You just got muted there, Dorothy.
Your computer's muted.
I'm sorry. I said, is it, did it buy it just to help support it? Because it seems like it's a financial arrangement.
Well, from what little bit I've read, they bought it for the health information.
Ah, okay. The DNA thing.
Yeah, they're a big, like, well, they own a lot of different companies, and they have some health.
Okay. Yeah.
Want to do aggregate, research on the health information for pharmaceutical. I don't know. It's
Wow. I thought if they're getting extra funding, maybe they'd lower their prices a little.
Yeah.
I wish.
The other big thing is they're going to be purging any
Yes.
matches that are less than 7 centimorgans.
Yeah.
So, do people know what we're talking about here? If you've done your DNA and you have a match that's less than 7 centimorgans, that match is going to go away with on Ancestry DNA. So you need to, if you think that match has some significance in building your family tree, you may want to save that, somehow before they do it. You're muted again, Dorothy.
I think our gremlins are at work today, aren't they?
Yeah, that's
I am really a very, very inexperienced on DNA. I've had it done, but I'm so far behind in understanding what it is that I wouldn't know if I had any relatives in that. But those are really long. Under 7 is basically
could be a
non-existent for you. Yeah. Okay.
There is a person arguing for that. I know there's a woman by the name of Roberta Estes. Do you know her?
Yeah, I've heard of her.
She writes a blog, and she's very thinks that it's going to impact like African American research and things like that. So she's I think advocating against that. I don't know if she'll have any luck.
Yeah.
But really, locally now, Wayne is our expert.
Okay, good.
We did the DNA workshop with Blaine.
Well, we've had workshops here in Tulsa with Blaine, and I've been to 2 of them.
He's good.
And he kind of goes off the deep end very quickly for me.
That's Blaine. Legally.
But it's interesting. So, Well, I didn't mean to take over your
Oh,
your
no,
meeting, so
this is open season right now. So anybody,
okay.
anything else they want to talk about, just about genealogically oriented?
Maybe we should talk a little bit about what we might want to do next time.
Yeah.
Huh, yeah.
Did you add something, Kim? I know you were.
I have one
Right.
other thing that I wondered about. Is it worth it for me as a sort of a beginning kind of person to have a ancestry account? Would I get more info there that's better than
They have.
what I'm getting from
Yeah, I
Family
see what
Search?
you're asking. You mean if they're duplicated in Family Search?
Excuse me?
You're asking whether.
Are there real
Database.
advantages for me to get ancestry
Uh-huh.
at an early point in my research, or should I wait a bit?
That's a very good question. I mean, they're both of them. They're the largest databases for genealogical research.
Okay.
Ancestry is the largest free one. I'm sorry, Family Search is the
Yeah.
largest free database, and Ancestry is the largest fee-based. And but it just depends. I think I don't know, Wayne. I've never really been able to figure it out. I mean, I think Ancestry is easier to use than Family Search, to be honest with you.
I would agree. It's
You know,
easier. I don't know.
their interface is easier, their searching is easier. With
Are
Family,
you here locally, Kim? Can you get to one of the libraries when they open up?
Yeah, I'm in Brattleboro, right
Brattleboro,
down the street
yeah.
from the library.
Oh, you are.
Ah,
yeah,
Well, unfortunately, it's
It's
well, you'll have to
closed.
yeah.
badger them a little bit about getting you access to the Ancestry account, then and try it out. Is what I would suggest.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
It is
send
easy
out-
to use. They give you, once you start, you look up, you can search for a person, and well, with an account, I guess the advantage of the account, you would also get hints that would, kind of automatically be
Right.
connected to the people in your tree.
right.
So you could check out other hints that are there. I mean, they're not always good ones, but
You can always,
I've found a lot of use. Usually, I can find one or two things that are useful in
Yeah.
each person I'm researching
Right.
on Ancestry.
well, I understand Family Search is catching up a lot, and they're working together.
Yeah.
So that is one advantage of just being on Family Search, because they are catching up with Ancestry. You can put a tree on Ancestry without paying for the account. It's just that you would not be able to get into all the databases, because they're limited that for the pay people.
Right.
So you might try it, just do a trial and use the free and see how it works and everything. I usually just, I'm kind of like everybody else. I just do the 6 months because it's the least expensive way that I can do it.
Yeah.
And, but they do have a lot of information, and I agree that it's easier to search, I feel like, on Ancestry than it is Family Search. I found the information easier.
I'll tell you one big difference, because I do a lot of Italian research,
uh-huh.
Mm,
and Family Search by far has more Italian-based records.
yes,
Internationally, because that's their thing, is going out and
that's good.
transcribing, and they've been doing this for over 80 years.
Right.
Microfilm to begin with, and now they're digitizing that microfilm that's in their vault.
Right.
So, if you're doing any international research, Family Search can't be beat.
Okay.
Now MyHeritage is becoming a big player in international as well. So I have to use both. I mean, I do this professionally, so I need,
Okay.
when I have a client, I need to have access to
All of it.
all of it. Exactly. Yeah.
Well, thank you. I've learned a lot.
Well, good luck.
So I'm going to launch a poll here. So
Okay.
Okay.
so
All
if people
right.
would like to vote, I don't know if you can vote for both or not.
Either one is
Well,
fine.
we can just do it.
Yeah, either one is fine. It's
Yeah.
October 3rd.
Does it, yeah,
I could do both.
Mhm.
I could do both. There you go.
allow you to do both?
Yeah.
Okay, good. And I
Will,
thought,
will you keep my email address or something so you can let
Yeah.
me know?
yes, you're on the list now, so we'll
Okay, great. All right. I appreciate that.
send you a list. Okay, so it looks like we can, do both of them.
Okay.
Okay.
And then-
I'm an hour behind or ahead of you here in Tulsa.
No, you're behind, aren't you?
I mean, behind.
Yeah,
Depends on which way I'm going, I guess.
yeah. So so it would start, if we start at 10, it starts at 9 for you.
Right.
Okay. And then the other.
No, I'm an hour ahead of you. Are you? Oh, well, no, I know what you're talking about. I'm
Yeah.
talking about Mountain Standard Time.
Yeah, isn't that 2 hours?
No, Central. I'm in Central.
You're Central, right?
And when I looked at your advertisement, it was actually in Mountain Standard Time. So that's what's confusing me.
It was?
Hmm.
Oh,
It says it came on at 8. So,
where did you see that?
well, I don't know.
Well, I'll have to,
It's on the,
I'll look into that.
okay, when I signed on to it, it was, and I think they always show that though, Jerry, that it's Mountain Standard Time. But when you save it to your computer, then it'll change to your time slot.
Okay. Well,
So,
I'll change it to that.
okay, but that's what's confused me. I could deal with Eastern time,
Yeah.
but Mountain Standard Time's kind of a strange animal for me. So I
Okay,
was a little confused there.
okay. I'll make that clear in the notification.
It's Eastern time. Okay. Yeah, there. Okay, good.
So here's the second poll. So we can talk about more software, or we can do some exploration of ancestry and family search, or we said, Wayne and I were thinking maybe people like to do like ethnic research. We could do some Irish ancestry.
Mhm.
Like that.
You can, if there's something else you want, put it in the chat, and then we'll or send an email. Send an email. Just reply to the email that went out to you guys. So.
Okay.
Kim, you're muted.
Okay. Can we check 2?
If
You
No.
could try.
Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. I don't know if it allows you to do 2.
Well, it isn't. No.
Does it?
Use other and then type in what you want in the other.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
you can do that.
good point.
Type in.
Yeah, good
Let's
point.
see. Type in chat.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Not working. Okay.
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 Well, it looks like ancestry and family search is winning out. So maybe that's what we'll devote our time to. Maybe we can do a little bit on Irish ancestry,
I'd like to.
or we can save it for another time. But
Mhm.
Well, I don't have any Irish ancestors, but I am interested in other countries, so that
Yeah.
would be fine too.
I could spend 6 hours on Italian research, but I don't think anybody else was interested. Okay, I think that's good to know.
Sounds good.
There was one person on Family Tree Maker, and maybe we can do that another time.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are the results. I think I didn't share the results.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
Okay.
good.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And okay, folks. Well, thanks for coming. I hope you got something out of it. And looks like we'll pick one of those dates in early October.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it'll be Zoom.
I'm pretty sure.
Doing anything in-house yet. That might not be until the new year. I don't know.
Oh,
We're going.
well,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
kind of
this
up in the air, isn't it?
Yeah, well, we
This
are,
works well.
for once, I'm proud that Vermont is last in the nation.
Right.
Last in the
Me
nation.
too.
Y'all are doing very well up there.
Yeah,
Oklahoma is trying to spike, but we're not as bad as down below us in Texas. So,
Texas and Florida, some serious stuff there. So,
yeah.
but at any rate, we don't have any beaches here for people to.
It's true.
Although we have these great swimming holes, and in the newspaper this morning, the Reformer, there's this incredible swimming hole on Route 30, and
Ooh.
people come there and they park all up and down Route 30. They've banned parking. The swimming holes are
my.
still open, but you can't park. So people are afraid.
Sometimes I tell you, they strain at camels and swallow gnats, don't they? Or strain at gnats and swallow camels.
That's right. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of if people start parking and then walking like miles or something. I don't know. The
Oh,
swimming holes are beautiful. It's been a long time since I've been in there, but they're very
I
nice.
bet.
Yeah.
I'd love to come see your sugar maples.
Yeah, well, this is
That's what I've always heard about Vermont.
in a couple more months.
Yeah.
They'll be here.
Well, I'm going to take off. So thank you
Nice
for
to meet
welcoming
you,
me and allowing me to interact with you.
Okay, well, we'll see you next time.
I'll be looking forward to it. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
thanks
you,
everybody.
Gary, Wayne. Thank you all.
Okay, thanks for coming, Kim.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Goodbye, Nancy.
Hi, everyone.
Anybody wants to hang?